Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Halbkast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Rat-a-tat-tat.
Oh yeah, that's us. A couple of crooners.
Yeah, that's us. Yep. The Rat Pack.
That's how they know us.
Couple of Bing Crosbys over here.
Bada Bing Crosbys.
There it is. We got there. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of STRIKEcast!
STRIKEcast. The strike continues.
It's the show we've always done, where we get hyped about stuff and things. I'm your co-host, Tom Ryman.
I'm your other co-host, David Bell.
Yeah, close? You are. What? What'd you say?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. I think I said coast, which is a co-host.
Coast. Yeah.
Coast. I should start saying that.
Yeah.
Speaking of
the
strikes,
coast with the most.
Our guests striked.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They struck hard.
They had a guest. We had a guest,
We
rather.
had a guest.
And I'll just say it now. I picked out the movie that deserved more hype for that guest. But I want them to feel guilty. I want that.
I'll let them know. Well, they know. I know they're listening. So.
They're listening. Of course they're listening. No, they're great. They're great. We'll have them on in the future.
Yeah.
They're great. We're not going to say who it is.
No.
Because it's more fun.
But just know that the movie that deserves more hype was picked for you.
Yeah, and just know that for the listeners, that we're very popular and people like us. And we had a guest.
Yeah, we don't just have each other to hang out with.
Yeah.
We have
Canada.
a deep bench of friends and acquaintances that all love hanging out with us, just not right now.
Just not right now.
Not right now. They're busy.
How you doing, Tom?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yourself, Dave.
I'm all right. I'm just working. You know, I got a lot of work done these last couple days.
Working for the weekend.
Yeah, I beat the new Assassin's Creed because it was like 10 hours long. It was very short.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It was short in a way that the game should be.
No, that was a genuine good.
Oh yeah, it's also like my only compliment for it, but that's for another day.
Oh, sweet.
It's fine.
I love your relationship with these games.
It's fine.
Like you keep buying them and you keep hating them.
Well, here's what it is. It's fine. It's actually very good if it was made in 2008. If that makes sense.
Yes.
What I mean by that is like it's kind of just the same stuff we got in that first game. It's more like a remaster, and that's all to say that it was very fun. I like jumping on rooftops like a little freak, but after like Syndicate, I'm like, I need more. I need more from this. Why don't you give me my World War I game? What's wrong with you, Ubisoft? Which to the answer to that is a lot, probably.
A whole
it's Ubisoft.
lot. Yeah. They've had some disquieting things happen in that organization.
It's I want to say it's got like Force Awakens vibe. Does that make sense? Where you're like, oh, it's more polished, but it's kind of just that first thing again.
Oh yeah,
that's the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So that is my review.
Thank you.
Of Assassin's Creed
Dave.
Mirage.
That's a nice little treat for us.
Do you want to review anything real quick?
I'm halfway through Spider-Man 2.
Oh yeah, I beat that fucking thing.
Yeah, you did. I haven't even beaten Baldur's Gate yet.
Yeah, you gotta do that. What do you think?
I'm a little behind, little guy. I'm a little behind.
What do you think of Spider-Man 2?
It's fine. I'm kind of mid on it. I think the first game was better, like genuinely.
It's hard because the first game I really, because I guess that the early Spider-Man did this too, but like the feeling of first swinging around, and then Miles Morales was also very fun. And then this one, I do like, there is, I think, a slightly less amount of bullshit, meaning like, go pick up these 50 backpacks, that shit. Like it feels like there's less busy work, which isn't to say there's zero busy work, as I'm sure you've discovered.
There's a lot. There's like little Sandman crystals. There's little like spider drones. There's little like Mysterio places. There's like photo ops. There's
the photo ops are less. I like them more because they're a little more
pads.
active. Yeah, the research pads suck.
There's
again, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Like it's. I just don't. I don't know that there's like less nonsense, less busy work than there was in the previous game.
Right. This is what I do every time, and I've done it for every Spider-Man. When they're like, "Oh, these are planted all over the city," I immediately just spend a couple hours doing them all, so I don't have to think about them anymore. And I do that for every busy work task. And so when I beat the game, there's like literally nothing to do the moment the game's over, which kind of makes me sad. So maybe I shouldn't do that, I guess, is the moral.
Yeah, that sounds like a miserable way to play the game, actually.
It's nice because it levels you up. You do all the Mysterio bullshit, and then you're leveled up more. And so, like, maybe that's why, actually, it's also, I found the game very easy. Like, it was, don't get me wrong, it was fun, it's okay to be easy. But I've heard other people say that they're finding it difficult. So maybe, I don't know.
Well, it's not any more difficult than the previous game was.
Yeah. This has been our review of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Too.
All right. Should we thank some producers?
Yeah.
Oh,
let's think of. I'm having trouble talking.
Yeah, my mouth stopped working. I don't know what happened there.
I don't know. I got a big ass thing of water here, so that's gonna help me out.
Oh, that's what it is. I'm out of water.
Inside
baseball.
Info. Yeah.
Oh, no. How the sausage is made.
Water.
The sausage water.
We have some producers we would
sure
like to thank that make this all possible. Thank you so much to @NerdNumbers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Thank you.
Thank you to Aaron Burser.
Thank you.
Thank you to AJ.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew Howe. Deck the halls with blood.
Thank you.
'Tis the season. Thank you to Asking Seven.
Thank you.
Thank you to Bob Grenville.
Thank you.
Thank you to Bootler Boodleson.
Thank you. All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to Brian who Tom knows.
Thank you
to Broccoli Loves the Meat Millie.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you to Burrito wants you to drink water, hit the gym, and do the ska, because they loves y'all.
Pick it up.
Thank you to Chester's Prophet.
Thank you.
Thank you to Christopher Robert Sparks, Esquire.
Thank
you.
Thank
you to Dan Hackroyd.
Thank you.
Thank you to Davey, the ghost of East Las Vegas, Francis.
Thank you.
And thank you to David Knife Boot Henson.
Knife Boot Henson. Thank you. Oh, right. So, oh my God. It's STRIKEcast, Tom.
It is.
What does that mean for us?
I don't know.
That means we got a rich fucking vein of trailers from Not Now trailers. The SAG strike. It feels like we're going to be doing STRIKEcast until the new year.
At the very least.
And then some. Yeah. That's okay. They need to get what they need to get. So we'll hold out. We'll keep reviewing fucking old ass trailers. And in this case, these are trailers from the month of November 2003.
That's right.
Oh, fucking boy.
We turned back the clock exactly 20 years ago this month.
Yeah. And now something to know about November of 2003. Mm-hmm. We were still very much in that vibe of like movies have to, the summer has the blockbusters, but then there's like this Christmas leftover.
Yeah, there was like a second
yeah.
summer in November, December.
Yeah.
With like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter kind of.
Yeah, I was going to say that paved the way for some of the fantasy ones, some of the ones that were like, we don't feel like a summer blockbuster movie, but we'll sort of like give you, and then it's also like a time for some like,
award season movies.
Award season movies. Yeah, it's an interesting time. And that's all to say our first trailer is Radio.
It sure is, Dave.
I was dreading this.
Oh boy, radio. I don't know. I really want to know how many people listening to this remember the movie Radio starring Cuba Gooding Jr. and Ed Harris.
The people who do remember, I'm sure their heart just sunk.
Yeah.
Remembering
You just
Radio.
got real bummed when we said Radio.
Yeah, I worked at Cinemark when this came out, and I wanted to make it clear to the young people of the world who are now Googling Radio, we were not responsible for this.
No.
We did not enjoy this. We did not eat it up. We saw this. I remember vividly I remember specifically the line from the trailer, "We're not doing the teaching to radio. Radio's the one who's been teaching us." And I remember the audience watching the trailer bursting into laughter.
Yeah.
And I remember everybody at the time thinking this is incredibly embarrassing.
Yeah.
So I just want to make that clear. This is not like a movie when you watch where you're like, "Oh my God, this is actually a thing people loved." Nobody responded.
Nobody
well to
liked
radio.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like a parody. It is Ed Harris. It's based off a true story, which honestly makes it worse because it's such a
I bet it's unrecognizable.
Yes, from the actual story.
From the actual story.
It's Ed Harris plays a football coach who's like, winning is everything, I believe, at least according to the trailer, who meets Radio, played by Cuba Gooding Jr., who plays a man who is mentally disabled in a vague way.
In that vague mid-90s way, this is early aughts, but it still like is dragging a lot of that Forrest Gump sort of stink with it.
Yeah, so if you watched a movie called Tropic Thunder, I do believe they are directly parodying this movie, which already feels like a parody, because it's very simple, Jack. Very, very, very much. Where Cuba Gooding Jr. is like playing it as like a comedic character. Like there's a scene where he gets bonked on the head with the football and everybody's like, "Oh, Radio."
Yeah.
Like it's real bleak. Real bleak.
This is... I wrote in our notes, Radio might be the most embarrassing movie ever made. It's just it's like an SNL sketch of an Oscar, like an Oscar bait movie gone horribly wrong.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, it's you
I've
really
never seen it.
You really
I've
can't.
never seen it. Have you seen this?
No.
No. Well, I don't want to give this movie a cent.
But like the reviews were abysmal. Like nobody went to. You just looking at the trailer. It's man.
It's one of those things where I'm like I get Cuba Gooding Jr. I don't think his career was in a great place here, right?
No.
And he was looking for that Oscar high again. And there was a few of these. I Am Sam. Remember that one?
Yeah, but they actually all didn't they give fucking no, that's because that's the joke in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, there's a few movies where they did this very bad thing that again I don't think anybody at the time was like, yes, we like this. I'm pretty sure it really spoke to like the Hollywood bubble of like they all thought this was a really cool idea. It's like
it's like magic.
Shocking.
It's like the magic autism thing in movies. Yeah. It's like their movies were kind of obsessed with this in the 90s and the early aughts.
Right, and it was shocking because you think like Ed Harris would have more sense than that. It's like the Imagine video that came out, and you go through and you're like, really? You too? Jesus. Like, so you're all in this bubble, and it's like, yeah, they're all rich. Like, that's just how it is. So that's kind of how it felt watching this. I was just like, God damn it, you guys. Really? All of you.
Everybody.
Everybody
involved should have known better.
Yeah, you were like, yes, Radio.
This is
the next
offensive.
Big thing.
Like it's just this trailer is just it's brutal. It's a brutal trailer. All right.
It's hard to watch.
It really is.
It's the Forrest Gump ripple effect, right? Which is like it happened once. A movie got big once, starring a man who was vaguely mentally disabled. And then they were like, well, it's the Hollywood. It's the thing they always do, where they're like, why did everybody love that movie? I guess they love movies about mentally disabled
quote
people.
unquote simple protagonists.
Yeah, let's pour it on. And it's like, no, I don't think that's why Forrest Gump was
I don't think that's why it resonated with people.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's a kind of a profound statement about a human life, I think.
Right. It's also a boomer bait.
It is boomer bait. It is boomer bait. It is boomer bait.
Yeah.
I still think it mostly works. But...
I mean, it's Zemeckis, man. It's well made. That's the other thing. I'm sure if Zemeckis made radio, maybe it'd be better. Although I think Zemeckis would say, "I'm not making radio."
You'd hope
how that would go.
You'd hope, but I mean, Cuba Gooding and Ed Harris both looked at that and said, "Let's make radio." So
that's a good point.
A lot of people said, "Let's make radio."
Yeah, so many people.
Too many.
Had to do this.
Too many.
Checks were written.
Enough that it exists, Dave. Radio exists.
They spent
undeniably
months making radio.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
I think that's what makes bad films so amazing, is when you realize the amount of effort where so many people had so many chances to turn back, and they didn't. They just kept going. Incredible.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else about radio?
No, just I like how how bad movies encapsulate the pioneer spirit.
Yeah. They really do.
Fuck it, we've come this far.
Yeah, might as well finish radio. Yeah. They're in the editing bay, just like, fuck, man, I think this movie might be embarrassing.
Damn it, I think we might be making radio.
Yeah, too late now.
Shit, are we making
Slap
radio?
A trailer.
God damn it.
Fucking radio. Let's talk about the Haunted Mansion.
Let's do that.
Yes.
The 2003 Haunted Mansion, not the 2023
Jared
one.
Leto free. I haven't seen the new Haunted Mansion, but considering that this one doesn't have Jared Leto, I'm going to go ahead and say this is probably my favorite Haunted Mansion of the two.
I remember this one. This is the Eddie Murphy one. I've seen it twice. I remember it being really boring.
You're probably right. I like this movie, but I don't think it's a
there's
good
cool
movie.
I remember there's cool effects in it, and Eddie Murphy is funny enough. It's not like super funny.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy kind of gets me. Like I always find him funny.
Oh yeah, I laughed
even in like Pluto Nash.
The line in this trailer where it's like, "We're now summon the dark spirits." He's no, don't summon any of the dark. Not while I'm sitting here. You wait until after I've left to summon the dark spirits.
It's good, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I laughed at this. It's dumb, but I laughed at it.
Oh yeah.
This was the same year as Pirates, so Disney was really trying. It was the other dart they threw at the wall with, let's make our most popular rides into movies and see which one becomes a franchise.
Right. And this
this is the one that didn't.
This is the one that didn't. And that's fair. I mean, here's the thing is, having watched this movie fairly recently, there's no franchisable thing about it.
It's not a franchisable idea. It's a haunted house.
Not really. The thing about the Haunted Mansion as a plot, there is a plot.
There is,
but the plot is always kind of, it's the history. The plot is the history. It's not the actual going through the current Haunted Mansion. That is what you do on the ride, right? Like when you go through Pirates of the Caribbean, you're watching like a plot unfold in that ride that you could take pieces from. Not much of a plot, mind you, but there's like
but there's enough of it, like to the point where I had like riding the Pirates again like a couple of years ago. It was the first time I'd ridden it since seeing the movie. It realized like, oh, I hadn't realized how much of the movie is from the ride.
Yeah, and the Haunted Mansion is no different. They take a lot from the ride. But the difference is that those characters all have a rich history behind them. But in the moment, they're just boo. That's what they're doing. And so, like, the protagonist in a Haunted Mansion movie is always kind of a blank slate. And it kind of lives and dies by that. And then all the characters kind of, it's like, what do you do with them? I guess they reconcile there, which is what this movie did. And I think it did it fine. But it's also like, there's just not that much meat, I guess. Like, you could do a Haunted Mansion origin, but like, who would want that?
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want.
It's just the origin is just a tragedy, and so Like, I think that's why they never did it, because it's like, well, there's no ghosts in the origin.
Yeah, it's not what's fun about the ride. That would be a huge mistake.
Yeah,
not that they've managed to make this concept work yet, but I mean the obvious one is the haunted house full of cool ghosts and special effects, and not like the murderous tragedy that created all these ghosts.
The other thing about the Haunted Mansion is that it's conceptually a bad story, in the sense that it's a great ride. It's probably my favorite ride of all time.
Yep.
But it's a series of vignettes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we go through this room and there's a different story being told. And so as a movie, it's kind of like Alice in Wonderland, where it's just like you keep falling into different fucking zany ghouls that are kind of unconnected from each other.
Yeah.
There's no like running story.
No, there's like a number of different ghosts, I think, right? Spanning all the different years.
Yeah, exactly. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Is that it's a very haunted mansion, and that's it. And so like it just doesn't, plot wise, I don't know. And I swear to fucking Christ, Disney, stop putting The Nightmare Before Christmas on it. I swear to fucking Christ, just leave it be. I swear to fucking Christ. But then just make, I don't know. Then the movie that it's based off is Nightmare Before Christmas, I guess. I don't know. For people who don't know, they like reskin Haunted Mansion to make it Nightmare Before Christmas themed. I think every now and then.
On Halloween.
On Halloween, yeah. I guess that's fine. You know what? Do whatever, Disney. You have my permission.
No, it's awful. It's awful. Like that. When I took Marina there, I was so excited to show her the Haunted Mansion, and it was fucking dressed up as Nightmare Before Christmas, and it really sucked.
Yeah, because it's Halloween, and what you want is
Halloween.
You want the Haunted Mansion.
I don't want Christmas.
Like, I want the classic.
It's a fucking Christmas ride, you dickheads.
Yeah. Okay, so I take back my
No, you are
retraction.
correct. It sucks.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go on a fucking Christmas ride when I go into a Haunted Mansion ride.
The Haunted Mansion, it's one of the smallest hills I die on, which is like, never tear it down, never change it. It's a historical
piece of art. Yeah, no, don't you dare.
It
should be preserved as a historical piece of art. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of works of art, you want to talk about Gothica?
Oh, man, I'd love to talk about Gothica. Is Gothica good?
I like it. The reviews do not like it. I looked up the reviews, but I've seen this movie more times than I should. Yeah. Here's what it is this is a little bit about a puddle of water in the desert, because this is a 2003 horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's more competent than a lot of horror movies.
It was a bleak time for horror. At least for mainstream horror.
Yeah, and so I think that was part of it. It's Halle Berry. It's a good concept. She's a psychiatrist, and then she blacks out and wakes up, and she's been committed for killing her husband. That's a cool idea, and she's being haunted by a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't spoil it, but I thought it was a very cool. It's a very like fun little ghost murder mystery, like a ghost / murder mystery thriller is a great combo. And I thought the scares looked decent in it.
It's kind of like a horror noir almost.
Yeah, it is.
I've seen it twice, but I both of those times were like 10 years apart, I think, or
right.
So like I don't remember anything about it. I just remember the general concept.
Oh yeah.
So I gotta watch Gothica again.
You gotta watch Gothica again. It's not. I haven't watched it.
I'm gonna watch
recently,
Gothica tonight, maybe, Dave.
Do it.
I might
watch
do that.
Gothica tonight. Do it, and let me know if it still holds up, because I'm not certain. It is Robert Downey Jr.'s big comeback film. He had done The Singing Detective, the remake of The Singing Detective, because for reasons that are pretty clear now. Mel Gibson was like pretty sympathetic to his situation.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like his dipping his toe back in Hollywood. And then this was his big thing. Apparently, one of the things I learned is that he accidentally broke Halle Berry's arm on the set of this.
Oh yeah,
I don't think
I heard.
Yeah,
that.
There was nothing. Yeah, it was like a stunt gone wrong. It wasn't really his fault, but it was him who did it. And that must have been a real bummer for a man who's walking on thin ice already in his career
breaking
right now.
The Oscar-winning star's arm.
Yeah, that's
nice
bad.
work, man.
It worked out for him ultimately.
Yeah, that's true.
This is from the director of Babylon AD.
Sure is.
Gothica. Penelope Cruz is barely in this. It's wild.
Is she?
She's
like I said, I don't remember the movie.
It's 3 actors, which Robert Downey Jr. makes sense because again, he wasn't exactly popular at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 3 actors that you think of as very big, and they're not. Like Halle Berry's mostly the person in it. Both Robert Downey Jr. and Penelope Cruz are barely in it. They're basically just side characters, and that's weird to me. Yeah.
This director is also the dude from Amelie.
Which dude from Amelie? There's a few dudes.
The main dude, the one that she's crushing on, the guy with all the photos and shit. Nino.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
The dude. Yeah, you're right. That's fucking weird.
Yeah. He's also the director of Gothica.
Yeah. I like Gothica. I feel like I don't think I could defend it as like an extremely high quality movie. It's just I remember going in and my expectations being extremely low because at this point, again, horror was not being kind.
It was a dark time. It was a dark time.
Yeah, and then I remember coming out of it being like, that wasn't so bad.
that was okay.
That was actually all right.
I always forget this is a Dark Castle movie too.
Oh shit!
Which was part of that short-lived initiative to try to like revive all the old castle movies, like House on Haunted Hill and Ghost Ship and what was the other one? House of Wax, I think
Gothica.
was one.
House of Wax, yeah. Why is Gothica called Gothica? Is that the name of like I hope that's not it's not the name of the place she works. I just looked it up.
I have no idea.
Why would you name it Gothica? It has a terrible ending. I do remember that. It tries to like tease a sequel. And it was like, nah,
why
Gothica,
would you do that?
I don't know.
Who sat down and was like, maybe Gothica 2?
Perhaps.
Nah, we don't need any
wow,
of that.
it was Dark Castle's largest scale production at the time with a $40 million budget. So they were going for it.
Yeah, they had Halle Berry.
Halle Berry. Yeah.
She'd won the Oscar at this point, I believe. Right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
When was Monsters Ball? That was 2001. Of the arm. Yep, there we go.
The breaking of the arm sounds bad. I mean, obviously he didn't do it on purpose, but it was a scene where he's supposed to grab and twist her around and just snapped her fucking arm.
Oh, oof.
Like fucking Jack Nicholson in The Shining, just grabbing her wrong. Jesus. Robert.
You're not in prison anymore, man. You're not in prison anymore.
Yeah. Jesus. All right. Speaking of horror movies, do you want to get to this next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Love Actually, baby.
Hey, it was a joke.
Yeah, I like this film.
Kind of. Yeah. This again, we both wrote the same thing in the notes. Like, yeah, I understand and agree with all of the valid criticisms of this film, but I still love it.
I can't defend this film.
It's indefensible. It's indefensible.
The guy whose love story with his employee, like Jesus fucking Christ.
Which one is that? Alan Rickman?
It's what's his name? Colin Firth, and his maid or something, right? Do I have that right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, where he goes to her house.
I always forget about that one because that one is like fucked. Like I know a lot of them are fucked, but like
fucking what's his name there? Fucking
Andrew Lincoln and Keira Knightley.
Andrew Lincoln, showing up at her house like a fucking maniac.
Punch that guy in the chest, man! Call the police. But yes, I love Love Actually.
They should have named this Call the Police.
Yeah.
Well, the trailer. And what's funny is the trailer knows what it is because the trailer literally ends with a sequence of all of the guys doing the running to their house to confess love scenes.
Yeah.
So that even the trailer knows that it is just packed full of cliches.
Yeah.
And they know that that's like it's catnip.
Playing
and
the
just
hits.
Like, yeah, it's gonna have all the things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All the fucking things you love.
That's right.
Bunch of guys. And then there's Liam Neeson's story, which is by the way, do you remember that this movie starts with a 9/11 reference?
No, I didn't.
It starts with Hugh Grant talking about 9/11 and about how on 9/11. Let me get this is this movie, right? Yeah, it is. This is a nutso fucking beginning. It opens with a voiceover showing people at an airport, and it's Hugh Grant talking about how on 9/11, the thing he remembers was all the people who got to like interconnect and make sure their loved ones were safe, like all the people who didn't die, who was like scared and like connecting, and that's how it starts. And then later, in a world that recognizes 9/11 as a thing, Liam Neeson lets his son plow through TSA security to run through an airport to talk to a little girl. That kid could have been murdered, and nobody would have. No, it would have been right.
No,
they
he
would have
wouldn't.
just nobody would have minded.
No.
I know it's just post 9/11 airport. Liam Neeson being like, "Yeah, just run through security and fucking run."
I don't
like,
think
I'm
a
sorry.
6-year-old would have gotten.
Maybe
I don't
not.
think a
That kid
6-year-old
would've
would have
gotten
gotten
tased.
ventilated by the TSA.
We were on edge, is all I'm
We
saying.
were.
It's not
They
a good
just
thing to
light
let your
that
son
kid up
do.
like the White Walkers do in Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Remember when they just
exactly.
blow his fucking body apart?
Yeah,
And we're like,
The movie
no,
is
kid
not-
from Love Actually.
yeah. It's very, very post 9/11. The movie is my point.
Yeah.
While being also like hilariously like not post 9/11 at the same time.
Mhm.
I love this movie.
It is. I love Bill Nye's story.
Oh yeah, he's a lot of fun in
Yeah,
it.
as the old rock star trying to put out a Christmas album. That
Yeah, I
storyline
like
is
the-
so funny.
Yeah, I liked how they explored these ideas. The Laura Linney stuff, which I've seen people sort of criticize as well or get frustrated with, but like I do like a movie sort of exploring, and then I assume it's all interconnected, right?
To a
Ultimately, in
degree,
some weird
I
way.
think. Some are more than others. I can't quite remember. I've only seen it a few times.
They should have gone full 9/11 and revealed that they all
But they
are
are all
on
on the plane.
planes.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Or
it
like
is.
did a remember me ending or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, someone made a graph. There's a graph of relationships between characters in Love Actually. So yeah, there's a big complicated graph. Then there's the British guy who just wants to get laid. Also, I'm noticing
yeah.
that Billy Bob Thornton is in this playing the president, and I totally
That's
forgot that.
right. I forgot about that.
That's amazing.
It's like a reveal too. They were like he's Iron Man. They walk it
Right.
in there.
Oh,
Well,
this
shit. I
stupid
guess
movie.
I'm in Love Actually.
Yeah. He did that sometimes.
He did. He would just pop up in movies, like Sean
Yeah, what
Connery
was
at the end
that?
of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Exactly. Intolerable Cruelty. There's a great Billy Bob in that. You remember
Tombstone.
that
That's
movie?
kind of like a reverse, a reaching back through time. Billy Bob cameo.
That's true. We loved him. We loved our Billy
We
Bob.
do love a Billy Bob.
Yeah. This movie's, I don't know. Again, it's probably very embarrassing to watch now, but.
It is. I mean,
That's
I've seen it within the last like 2 or 3 years, and yeah,
Oh, okay.
all of the problematic stuff is still problematic.
Yeah, it's not going to change. It's not
It's
going
not
to get
gonna
less
change.
problematic.
Yeah. But it's, I don't know. Like I said, we can't defend it, but I still like this movie.
It's our version of like, it's going to be a movie that newer generations won't understand why we like the movie.
Oh yeah.
And there's no logical defense of a lot of the movie.
Mhm.
It's just going to be like, I don't know, I just like it. That's what it'll come down to.
Well, I like what I like.
Yeah. Speaking of things I can't defend,
Mhm.
Scary Movie 3 is our next trailer. And I haven't seen this in a while, and I remember it being funny. And watching this trailer, I'm like, that is not funny.
This trailer's pretty brutal. I
It's not
did
funny.
laugh at Leslie Nielsen screaming at the guy with the trachea ring.
Oh, yeah, I laugh at every Leslie
Yeah,
Nielsen
Leslie Nielsen
moment.
is just, I mean, even in his worst movies, like Mr.
He's very
Magoo.
funny.
Yeah. He's going to say at
This
least
is-
one line that gets me.
Yeah, exactly. This is David Zucker when
Uh-huh.
David Zucker
He
took
took over, yeah.
This is, I mean, we've talked about this in other things. This is from the writer, folks, of Chernobyl and The Last of Us. Just throwing that out there.
Mhm.
Scary Movie 3, Scary Movie 4, superhero movie, Hangover Part 2, Hangover Part 3, Chernobyl, and The Last of Us. That is what this writer has done.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, let your brain
See,
just mull on that until
Within
die
you are
of a
two
stroke.
wolves, Dave.
Yeah. It's also the writer of Hot Shots.
Yeah. It's infantile comedies and incredibly serious dramas.
Yeah, I love his career.
Those are the two wolves.
His career is one of those careers that I always tell people to like motivate them, because it's like it's never too late.
Right.
It's never too late.
You can do anything. You really
can. Do anything.
You really can.
Yeah.
Anybody.
I don't know. I don't know how that happened.
Well,
I hope
maybe not everything. Like I can't play I'm never gonna play basketball. That's never gonna happen.
No, that's fair. Well, you can play basketball, just not professionally.
Right? Yeah. I'm not gonna ever be able to do like sick ass dunks and jams and stuff.
Yeah, I hope he does. I hope he does like a Brad Dourif, and like if another scary movie happens, I hope he writes it. Like I hope he's like, yeah, I don't have to. Like how Brad Dourif does Chucky.
Oh, he keeps
no matter
going
what.
back to do Chucky. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
like,
just
no,
like, yeah, I don't
shit,
need
I'm Chucky.
to. I believe in this.
Yeah,
I
believe
want
in
him
this
to
project.
Yeah. This is my passion.
Yeah.
This is the one for me. Chernobyl was for them.
Brad Dourif is in David Lynch's Dune and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, he is. There's no need for him to be Chucky. But I honestly get it. I perfectly understand why he's Chucky and why he loves
He is
being
also
Chucky.
Chucky.
Yeah.
And he's the fucking Doctor Undead. What a career.
Yeah.
The Doctor Undead.
It's the same with Leprechaun. It's the same fucking deal.
Oh, yeah.
Where Warwick Davis is like, yeah, I'm the Leprechaun. I'm the Leprechaun anytime you need him.
Yeah.
You know,
whenever you need
like,
me, you press L for Leprechaun.
Yeah, and I'll do it. I don't give a fuck.
I've never seen Scary Movie 3.
It's I like I said, I remember it being funny, but I don't think it is. Why? How could it be? How could it possibly be funny from this trailer? There's what I realized about David Zucker, and when we grew up, the thing is like what makes David Zucker quaint, or old David Zucker, is that I think we were children, right? And now looking at this today, a lot like he's always done topical, big quotes, topical humor, but he's always been kind of cruel. And so when you have a vivid memory of like Michael Jackson's life, you're like, that joke is just kind of gross. That's what it feels like. Or like Pamela Anderson in this, where it's like modern David Zucker as an adult just feels ickier from this era. And I think part of it is he's trying to be more topical with these movies. Like The Naked Gun doesn't do that much. It just has
there's still
beat up George Bush's wife a bunch.
I mean, there's still a fair amount of pop culture references and stuff.
For sure. But it just feels, again, I don't know if it's like because I was a kid. I don't know if it's nostalgia. But like I don't think he's changed. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I think
because like early aughts is like when like Perez Hilton was sort of getting popular.
Right.
So I don't know if we were just more mean with the jabs around then, like with South Park style stuff of how they treated celebrity. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass.
Hard. I know that Anna Faris and Regina Hall both fucking kill it in every single one of these that they're in. So there's something to that. I don't know. It's slapstick humor is tough. I think it comes and goes. I think it wasn't.
Oh yeah, no, I was commenting on you commenting on how this one feels meaner.
Yeah, it just feels. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. I guess I'd have to watch this again in the dark alone because I'm certainly not watching it with anybody else.
I'm certainly not watching it in public.
Watch.
Yeah.
I remember this and 4 and 5 not being terrible. I mean, again, they're all kind of terrible. The way all slapstick is kind of terrible.
I only saw the first one of these.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Second one's fine.
I've seen parts of the second one, but I haven't seen the full movie.
They obviously spawned not just the sequels, but a lot of darkness.
Right, like with superhero movie and epic movie, and does that all this are awful.
Yeah, they're obviously made off of some calculation of like if we make it with this budget, we can make this much back. Yeah, and people, it doesn't matter. And yeah, we get affordable people like Charlie Sheen in there. We're good to go. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Was in one of these.
He might be. This feels like a Bill Pullman. This feels like Bill Pullman territory.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure George Carlin is in this.
Let's talk about the next trailer.
All right. Oh yeah, Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World, baby.
Yeah.
I watched this recently.
I know you did on Inside Dads.
That's true. Go check it out on Small Beans. Yeah, this is Russell Crowe and Paul Bettany playing two competing daddies aboard a ship.
On an old ship, an old-timey ship.
Yeah, it is a baffling movie as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, man. I loved this movie when I saw it.
Damn right.
I thought this movie was a sweeping epic.
Oh, yeah. It is. If you don't remember it, as I wrote in the notes, I might be one of the only people alive who remembers this movie currently because I just watched it. But it's about Russell Crowe being a master and or commander on the far side of the world. It's based off a book series. Mm-hmm. And he is insisting on chasing another enemy ship, and everybody is telling him to stop. And spoilers, in the end, he's right. And that's it.
Yep, that's pretty much the movie.
And that's why it's such a dad movie, because it's the equivalent of being like, we're going to get to Wally World. Like, that's it. It's this dad being like, we're going to do this thing. Yeah. And then he ends up being right. And that's it.
Yep. It is
so funny.
It is an arch dad movie.
Yeah. There's no question. Like, you assume there will be a great downfall. There'll be an Ahab moment. And no, there isn't. Not at all.
Nope. It's just he's Captain Lucky Jack, and all the crew is just like, so much of this trailer is the crew beaming over how awesome Lucky Jack is.
Yeah. And you watch the movie and you finish it and you go, wait, why did I watch that? What was the point of that? What was the fucking point of that? Yeah.
What a film.
Fucking Master and Commander. A film. I have nothing else to say about it because I said a lot about it in a previous podcast.
Paul Bettany just wanted to draw some birds, man. That's all he wanted.
All he wanted to do.
All he wanted to
Science
do.
Dad.
He just wanted to be science for a few days.
And then he ends up getting shot by one of his own fucking friends who's trying to shoot a bird.
Like I remember the crew being a real disaster. Like they're just full of a bunch of superstitious idiots who keep maiming each other. They drive one kid to kill himself.
I was about to say, this movie burns through kids. It
sure
burns
does.
through kids.
Yeah.
It's great. It's this Russell Crowe. He might as well be using them for fuel, just throwing kids into the fire.
Using them as oars.
Yeah. Just fucking massacring, like, young, nervous, like, sailor kids.
Yeah,
it's
who
amazing.
trust him implicitly.
Who trust him and are terrified, and they should be.
Yeah.
This is a horror
It's a
movie.
nightmare existence.
Yeah. Speaking of which...
Speaking of a nightmare existence...
The Cat in the Hat.
Holy, I forgot this movie existed.
Is he doing like a New York accent?
Sometimes. Like I was going to ask you about that. This is Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat movie, which I guess they made off of the success of the Jim Carrey Grinch movie.
Yes. I heard that the Dr. Seuss family after this stopped optioning out stuff. Like, this is what did it. They were like, we're done. We're done for a while.
Yeah, this movie's ghastly. But
I've never seen it, but it's a fucking nightmare.
I've watched it.
Yeah.
He's doing, his voice like goes between New York and then just like regular Mike Myers.
Yeah. He's got like, he feels very Pennywise-y to me.
Well, it doesn't feel like a character. And I remember that was a problem with the movie. What I do remember of it is it never,
right.
Like the Grinch is a more realized character in the zeitgeist, I guess. Yeah, everybody kind of knows who he is and kind of what he's about.
Well,
like meanwhile, like tell me one thing about the Cat in the Hat. Like what's a character trait of the Cat in the Hat?
Yeah, he's zany.
Is he though?
And he has a hat.
Is he zany?
I think so. Here's actually the issue, right? And correct me if I'm wrong because I haven't read the book in a while. But the Grinch has a very clear character arc, right? His heart literally changes size.
Yeah.
He gains this appreciation of
he
Christmas,
saves Christmas,
etc. He saves Christmas. The Cat in the Hat, I don't think anybody has an arc. He shows up, he fucks up their house, and then I think they clean up before the parents get home.
He cleans it up with like a magic machine or some shit, I think.
Right, and at no point does he ever have like, is there ever like a problem? Like it's just like this zany asshole.
Well, he comes
like
in
it feels
and
like the kids might have died and they're in hell. Like he just fucks
their
up the
hearts are
place.
being weighed for their final judgment. No, he comes he comes in and it's like, here, I'll show you some fun games, and each one of his games is like escalating chaos.
And the fish is like, please don't do this.
Right, yeah. The fish is like the babysitter.
Yeah. And so, like, that's not really a story. It's a fine children's book. You know, I love Dr. Seuss. I love watching or looking at his books and looking at the fun little fucking drawings and all the weird messages and all that. And the Lorax. I loved that Lorax cartoon as a kid.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. But, like, Cat in the Hat was actually one of my least favorite. And I think this is why. Because it's just like, there's not much.
Well, it's not really anything. It's just kind of like a Bugs Bunny episode almost. But Cat in the Hat's not Bugs Bunny, so that's what I'm trying to. That's like it's an idea I'm struggling that I can't quite get at. But it's like there's not really a thing for Mike Myers to latch onto, so he sort of had to invent what the Cat in the Hat is, and he didn't do it. Like it's not a character. He's just kind of like. A weird voice that he can't even decide on, and he's wearing this awful costume that doesn't look good. It just looks like
a fucking nightmare.
Looks like a really cheap costume.
It does. I can't stress how much this looks like literal hell. Like it's just it's like not it's Uncanny Valley, right? Like everything
that's definitely
about
part
it.
of it. Yeah, his face.
Yeah, and honestly, everybody's fucking face, because everybody's like lit with like.
Oh yeah, it's super
that,
heightened
like,
cartoon reality. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Flintstones or anything like that, or honestly like Barbie. But the problem is that like those movies figured out how to do that right. This did not. I know what it was going for. Like I see what it thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
and that is a successful model. It just didn't work, and it's terrifying. And I hate it. And we should watch it on a Friday night.
We absolutely should. We should subject everyone to this movie. Let's move on.
Yeah, you know what I haven't seen is Brother Bear, our next trailer. This looks like, to me, like a less fucked up Don Bluth. Except I guess the moose, which are delightful, feel a little silly, too silly for Don Bluth, I guess. Not that Don Bluth he's still silly. But I never seen this. It looks chill.
Yeah, I haven't seen this either. It looks fine.
You blew my mind in the notes by pointing out that the bear is Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, the main character is Joaquin Phoenix.
That's fucking nuts.
And it's, I believe, Rick Moranis' last film role. It's him and Dave Thomas playing the two moose in the movie, and they're doing their characters from Strange Brew.
Right. Yes. Of course they are.
Yeah, that bit at the end genuinely made me laugh. Like, decently, where he's like
strange moose.
Yeah, strange moose. The Dave Thomas moose is like, hey, if you only see one movie this year, it should be Brother Bear. And then the Rick Moranis moose is like, well, if they're kind of late for this group, if they're only going to see one movie this year because they got one starting in like 2 minutes from now.
Yeah, it was great.
Like genuinely made me laugh.
I want to watch Brother Bear. It looks adorable. He's a little bear.
No, the premise is he kills a bear. Needlessly, unnecessarily. So
the bear kills another bear?
No. Joaquin Phoenix is a man. And he kills a bear unnecessarily. So like the forest spirits transform him into a bear.
Oh,
so that's why he's
awesome.
freaked out at like understanding the chipmunks and stuff. It's
right.
Like, why are you
talking?
talking?
I'm not a bear. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good punishment.
But it is
Turn
fucking
him into a bear.
Wild to hear Joaquin Phoenix's voice coming out of a animated bear in a Disney movie.
I hope it's like a Twilight Zone where he then gets murdered. Like that feels like a Twilight Zone episode. Is like you murder a bear and then you turn into a bear and get murdered.
Now you are a bear.
Yeah, now you are bear. Okay, I got nothing else there. Let's talk about Elf.
Yeah, let's do it. Will Ferrell's Elf.
Yeah, the movie.
The number
2
movie of November 2003.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that how you've grouped
of
these?
This month? Yeah, not the week, not by week, but the entire
of November
month.
2003.
Yes. Yeah. It I mean, I like Elf. Do you like Elf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elf's The trailer, the trailer's good. Like it's a good trailer. It's a good movie. I like Elf fine. It's not one that I watch though. I've only seen it like 2 or 3 times. It's not one of the ones that I revisit each Christmas.
Right. Like I said, my sister tries, and we always kind of turned her down. And now she has kids who are also turning her down. So the tradition persists of my sister trying to watch Elf and everybody going, nah, we're good.
Yeah, we can skip Elf this year.
Nothing against Elf.
Against Elf. It's a good movie. I like seeing James Caan in a family movie.
Yeah, me too. It's terrifying, but I love seeing it.
Yeah.
I feel like at any point he's just going to murder Will Ferrell.
He's going to start beating Will Ferrell to death.
Yeah, exactly. And, no one would bat an eye.
Nope.
Elf.
All
right. I'm fine moving to the final one.
Oh, man, this is a big one.
This is a big one.
This is a
The
big
Matrix.
one.
The Matrix Revolutions. Not to be confused with whatever the fuck that new one was, which, man, that one left my fucking memory.
I genuinely can't remember what it was called.
Resurrection.
Resurrection, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I've said this, I'm sure. I like this movie. I like the Matrix sequels.
I really
like them.
Don't.
No, most people don't. I understand this. If we were still doing Best Bad Movie, I would bring this.
Argue for the Matrix Revolutions.
Yeah, because all right, here's what I have to say. One, I like the ending. I like, spoilers, that it ends on a truce. I think that was the one thing no one would expect, is that it would end on a truce.
Oh yeah, that was one I was going to say. I can say positive things about the Matrix Revolutions. I don't think anyone predicted that this is how the trilogy would end.
Right. I like that it was like an epic war film and not in the Matrix anymore. And I understood that because they had kind of done the Wachowskis. They had no intention of making something after the first Matrix or making sequels. And then they were asked to. And this is I thought this is a good compromise where the second one, they're like, all right, let's do some stuff in the Matrix.
Blow it up in the second one. Do everything we can with this technology with infinite money. And then, the third one is almost completely out of the Matrix.
Yeah, we'll go into lore. We do a lot of lore stuff.
So
in both the
much
video
lore.
Games, the Animatrix. We'll really nerd out for the nerds. And I had a friend who was a big Matrix nerd, and I saw that friend really appreciate all this fucking lore and this bullshit, and it was really fun bullshit. And I get it for casual audiences. You'd be like, where the fuck is the Matrix? And this third one, but I liked it. I liked that it upped the stakes. Because how do you up the stakes in a movie where you're in a digital world? You leave that digital world and have fights in the real world.
It's true,
that's how you. Yeah. So I don't know what else they were supposed to do with the Matrix.
That's fair. I recognize that more now than I did when I saw the movie. I still don't like the sequels.
They're too long. They're too long objectively.
They are objectively too long. I think the lore is. I don't really care. It's cool. It's a neat idea. I like the idea of it. And I like that it ends in a truce. But really, it's just the first Matrix. I have the same relationship with the Matrix almost as I do with the Jaws movies, where it's it's the first movie, and then everything after it is just kind of like candy. But I don't really consider them
And I don't think the Wachowskis, again, I don't think they were necessarily wanting to make sequels anyway.
Yeah.
But I think
certainly not the newest one.
Yeah, I think it definitely could have been tighter, and that there's a lot of deviations of the plot. There's a lot of let's chase the conductor guy who runs the train program. There's a lot of shit where it's condense. These should have been, an hour 45-minute movies, and I think they're 2.5 hours. I want to say.
Yeah.
And so and you can feel it because I'm saying there isn't. Unlike some other movies, there's stuff that I'm oh yeah, you definitely didn't need that stuff. No, this is 2 hours and 9 minutes. Still, I would shave off 15 minutes.
The second one's longer, I remember.
Yeah, I that doesn't surprise me. And this one, my weird criticism is I think they should have spent less time in the Matrix for Revolutions, because they do a little bit and it felt obligatory.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was so excited.
I think that's right. I remember I sat in I don't remember you being excited. I remember being excited myself. I remember sitting in traffic for like 2 hours to get to the movie theater to do the midnight showing of this.
Oh yeah, I was balls deep in it to win it.
Yep. Yeah, man. My whole friend group was like all geeking out about The Matrix. I was I was the least into it. Like I said, because I didn't like the second one.
Yeah,
they do explain werewolves and ghosts.
Werewolves and ghosts.
Yeah,
and aliens.
It's all. I love it. I love it. The Wachowskis cannot resist doing that.
They love it.
They love doing it.
Oh, The Matrix.
Yeah, and that's it for the trailers. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's thank some more producers then.
Let's do it.
Big old thank you to Deborah's awesome, Barbara's great, and Cancer Can Go to Hell. Thank you. Thank you to Dracula, the bus driving vampire.
Thank you.
Thank you to Driftless says, long live the new flesh.
Thank you.
Thank you to E.T., the extravagant terresticle.
Thank you.
Thank you to Exploding Runes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Funky J Mostly Comes Out at Night. Mostly.
Thank you.
Thank you to Heathcliff's Helping Handfuls.
Thank you.
Thank you to ImpossibleWorlds.net. Issue 3 is out now. Gorge yourself on our fiction gorge.
Gorge!
Thank you to Chris Shanovich.
Thank you.
Thank you to Look Mom on a podcast.
Well, look at you. All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to Mabel. Step on me. Step on me. Thank you to Mackenzie. Fuck shuffling with one of the foes. Confusingly large dick. Chill.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mercurial Oz.
Thank
you to Mike the Lurker.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mongolian Throat Skanking.
Ooh.
Thank you to Mr. Tell Your Wife how many Patreon subscriptions you have before you agree to buy a house.
Thank you.
Thank you to musical guest Rob Ritchie.
Thank you.
Thank you to No One Can Hear You Screaming Space McNulty.
Thank you.
Thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you to Pete Vorpagel.
Thank you.
So the strike's still going on.
That's it. Yeah, strike's still going on. No news on that right
no
now.
real update on that, at least not as of this recording.
Yes. But there is something that obviously we have to talk about. Everybody fucking tweeted at me about this. What's her name? Micah Monroe
and David Robert Mitchell.
David Robert Mitchell are reuniting for They Follow, a sequel to It Follows. I think that's in early fucking stages because they have a poster, but that's it.
Yeah.
This is as good as this scenario gets for me.
Yeah.
I don't think It Follows needs a sequel. I also don't think it needs not a sequel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would normally be not really have any positive outlook on it. But the fact that the original writer director is doing it, it's like, well, maybe it'll be something
I'm a
interesting.
Big fan of. Yeah, I'm a big fan. It Follows, for people who don't know, is my favorite horror movie of probably the last 20 years.
It's up there for me as well, for sure.
Yeah. And David Robert Mitchell, I really liked Under the Silver Lake.
Me too, yeah. I
get the vibe that he doesn't have that many offers, which is a shame. I know he was doing something or is doing something with Anne Hathaway, and that's still a go. I want for him to keep making like horror specifically, but I want him to just spread his wings, make some more movies. And it seems like maybe his last two movies didn't make enough money for him to have a lot of offers. I don't know. So I'm scared that he's going back to this because he didn't have many other options, you know?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
That said, it is, again, like you said, the best version of this. They were probably going to make it with or without him. And honestly, the sequel being called They Follow, I'm like, yep, that is what you do with it.
Yeah.
The first one was
how you
one
escalated.
thing. Yep, now you have multiple things. Alien? Nope.
Aliens. You see that poster, you're like, oh, shit.
Yep. And
how many? Is it two? I don't know.
And on that, I really hope he goes Gremlins 2 with it, or honestly goes Aliens with it, and just says, fuck it, I'm making an action movie.
Oh man, that would be wild. Yeah. I mean, I hope, really like this director. I hope it's as bizarre and crazy as Under the Silver Lake.
Yeah, I want him to be nihilist about it. And
Yeah.
I know this is bad for his career. It's great for my enjoyment, where it's like, I want him to fucking just go nuts with this and do something just out of control. Because he already told the story I assume he wanted to tell. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe when he made It Follows, he was like, and I have an amazing idea for the sequel. Maybe that is true, you know?
It could be.
Maybe
I don't
there
know.
was, yeah. But we saw him. We saw him speak, and he didn't seem to indicate that.
That's true.
Yeah, at the ArcLight, which was a delight. I wish I think we had just watched the movie.
We didn't know it was one of those sort of
they just
showings.
pulled that on us.
Yeah, we didn't realize he was going to come up on stage and do a Q&A
Yeah.
at the end.
We stumbled into it.
Mhm.
We went and saw It Follows, and they're like, and now here's the director. And at the time, that wasn't a big deal. And now
Right,
I'm just
yeah.
like, I wish I remembered that more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is all to say, I'm supportive. I'm excited. I am like, yeah, fuck it. Again, this is the best way to make a sequel to this. And if anything, it's going to be another awesome soundtrack for me to listen to while I'm working. So there's that.
That soundtrack does go pretty hard.
Oh yeah, I listen to it all the fucking time.
It's a pretty sweet soundtrack.
Yeah, it's so good. Other news coming out of Marvel, which is that turmoil, right? They seem to not know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
There's all these rumors around the fucking Blade movie and all the drafts. And then, of course, there was a rumor, this is Variety, that they were floating the idea of bringing back all the original Avengers, including the dead ones. And
yep. Why not? They were always going to do it.
This is the thing. It feels so obvious to me. And it feels like it was the hubris, right? Where they like did Endgame and they're like, and this will never end. People will keep loving us. Anyway, we're retiring all the characters everybody loved, but they love us. We're Marvel. And like, had they immediately like teased X-Men at the end of Endgame, I think they would still be on top. I mean, they're still making a butt ton of money.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But like, what they really should have done, in my opinion, is said, Endgame, that's the end of this universe. Period. We're done. Stay tuned for an X-Men universe. Totally unrelated, right? Like, that's what they should have done, in my opinion. And they'd be making all the money. They'd do Dark Phoenix again, you know. But I think it was also tied up legally, maybe.
I'm not sure.
They couldn't do that. That's what should have happened. But instead, they seem to be floundering, and now they're like, I don't know, bring back the dead Avengers? And like... that's not the answer, right?
Probably not. That's all comes from this Variety article that came out this week. That's a pretty surprisingly candid like State of the Union for Marvel right now, and it's
right
between all that stuff that you mentioned, the fact that Jonathan Majors is in, they might be being replaced. Like they've had talks about like possibly recasting him or even just abandoning Kang as a character and putting in like Doctor Doom or something.
Right.
The stuff with the obviously all the strikes and then the VFX artists going on strike, where they had two movies premiere. Well, a TV show. They did a live like theatrical premiere of like the first two episodes of She-Hulk, where the special effects were out of focus because they had been rushed to be finished like that week or possibly even that day. And the same thing happened for the world premiere of Quantumania, where some of the effects were out of focus. It's like that's was the beginning of 2023 for Marvel. So it's just been like a lot of this stuff coming to a head. So
if anybody at Disney is listening, number one, stop changing the Haunted Mansion. That's number one.
Take
number two,
all the Nightmare Before Christmas shit
I swear
down.
to Christ. Number two, just stop. Just stop. Like, you need to end your series. They need to end. Because otherwise they just fade out.
Mm-hmm.
And they fade out very embarrassingly.
They fizzle out.
You made the ending. It was called Endgame. It was literally called Endgame. You end it. End the thing. And then you can even you could keep making Marvel stuff. I personally, I'm kind of sick of it, but you probably could. It's really bad when like movie series become their own little economies.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same with video games, right? It's like video games they hire a bunch of people and then they're like, we don't want to fire everybody when the game's done, so let's just keep like stretching it out, like Destiny 2 and shit like that. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it's like they have to understand that it's like it was done. It was done. The story was done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Voldemort was dead. Don't make Fantastic Beasts. I'm begging you. But and so like they could have just switched to a new universe, done X-Men, done something else because they had that ability. But yeah, instead we get this shit, and it's boy is it fucking.
It's been a real dog shit year
it really
for Marvel.
Has. And it's like, it's not going to get better. If they did bring back Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson, that would basically that would take away the last bit of stakes that their movies had, right?
Yeah.
Like that was the closest they had to having stakes, is killing a few characters. And it was like, good. And they've brought back so many other dead characters. It's like, stop it. Just fucking end your stories. For the love of Christ.
Yeah.
Recast Robert Downey Jr. in a different role, in an X-Men thing. Make him Professor X.
that
that
would be
sounds
wild.
Terrible. Yeah, but do it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Make him Professor X whom fucks.
Yeah, exactly. Sarcastic Professor X.
Mm-hmm.
It would be just terrible. But like I was talking to Cody about this, and he put it really well. Is like, what's going to happen is Deadpool is going to bring everybody. Right? They're going to get as many people. They're going to get like fucking the Human Torch, fucking Chris Evans. They're going to ironically bring back all the people.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to do this big multiverse thing. And then that's going to get shoved into the Marvel movies and nothing will matter. Right? Hugh Jackman will be back for 10 more films.
Sure. Why not?
Like they'll just fucking, that's what I think they're going to use Deadpool to just like pile on that nihilism.
Sweet.
And just go like, fuck.
Yep. Smoke the whole pack.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck. Should we thank some more producers?
Let's do it.
Big old thank you to Numino Ultra Microscopic Silicol Volcanoconiosis Anti-Disestablishmentarianism Jones. Thank you. Thank you to Bye TikTok superstar Jason Pargin's new book, Zoe is Too Drunk for This Dystopia, out now wherever books are sold.
Thank you.
That isn't Jason. Thank you to Pumpkin Ed.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rev MD.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Ricky Cilantro.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead.
Thank you.
Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid.
Thank you.
Thank you to Sorry Cop, world's most laughable centrist.
Thank you.
Thank you to Steven.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Jay the Crow says, it's my birthday month. Give your local Corvids a shiny rock. Absolutely.
Will
Thank
do.
you.
There's a number in my yard.
Thank you to the conveniently placed self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head.
Kaboom. All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to the Midnight Patron. What patrons at midnight?
Thank you.
Thank you to the Oatmeal Savage. Thank you to the producer formerly known as the Ghost of Dave Thomas.
Thank
you
you
to the To Be Terror Bunny says support workers. A. David Zaslav.
Yes.
Thank you to these 7 Bs.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tiger George Pratt Thompson. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tip Drizzle.
Thank
you. Thank you to Tux.
Thank
you to Vincent.
Thank
you to Why Don't You Take a Flying Fuck at the Moon?
Thank you.
Thank you to your mom.
Thank you.
And thank you to Zzz, because Pie Guy liked being last.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Dave.
Thank you.
We were supposed to have a third person here who was going to be delighted with your selection of movies that deserve more hype. But since that person is not here, I'm going to pretend to be surprised when I ask. Dave, do you have a movie that deserves more hype?
You know what? I do.
What luck!
I really do.
I'm so glad I asked. You know what? I'm so glad you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
It's true. It's true. Also, for the record, I don't know if our guest actually would have liked this movie. It just seemed like their vibe.
It does.
I don't know. This movie is called Dolly! Exclamation point.
Yep.
That is what it's called. Yep. I am not
7
emphasizing
A's.
it. 7 A's. Exactly 7. I made sure to count. It's from the director of Rubber, folks.
Of course
and
it is.
And it's a movie about Salvador Dali. in the style of a Salvador Dali film, like project or art. So that's what we're dealing with. Salvador Dali is played by multiple actors. It's got like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes with the limited, reviews it has so far. It's coming out November in France. There's no word of when it will be coming out here. I assume by the end of the year. It is. So it's about a journalist who has to interview Salvador Dali. The opening sequence is apparently him just trying to get to the interview, and the hallway in the hotel won't end. So that's what we're dealing with. It is like the whole movie is apparently like this. Like the review here says a story should have a beginning, a middle, and an end, but not necessarily in that order, said Godard. But Dali does him one better by having maybe 3 beginnings, 6 middles, and 4 or 5 endings, none of them coming where they're supposed to, but all of them landing in the right place. So yeah, it sounds batshit. It also sounds like he's kind of taking the piss out of Dali and by extension himself, by like the portrayal of Salvador Dali is like kind of an egotist, and like his art, it sounds like his art's less important than his personality, right? So like he keeps insisting, like he leaves the interview because there's no cameras and he wants to be seen, and then he leaves the interview again because there's not enough cameras, and it's like just about the ego of a surrealist artist of how it's kind of like, hey, look at me, which is true. And it's also, I'd say, like, it's true for a lot of loud artists. Yeah. Which doesn't mean they're not good. It's just, that's, Tarantino's the same way. But again, that doesn't take away from his art. And so and this director, very much the same way. So like, it does feel like he's doing it in a way that's not like, look at this amazing genius. It's more of just like, look at this asshole.
Yeah, look at this dipshit. That's the vibe I got from the trailer. Is incredible.
Yes, the trailer is incredible.
It is as surreal as you would expect. It's, man, just watch it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of this guy's movies. Like, I haven't seen Rubber. I didn't watch Deerskin, I think it's the other one, right?
He's very divisive because his stuff is very like, Rubber is like, it has vibes of like art student in it, where it's like you don't quite know at first. Like there's this whole idea, this meta commentary in Rubber that I like Rubber, but I don't know if this worked, where like there's a bunch of, it keeps cutting to basically a chorus, like these people watching from afar, and they're like observing of what this story could mean. So it's like this very meta commentary, I'm an artist stuff, but like, again, as this film indicates, I think he knows too. So his stuff is very like fucking zany and very meta and very weird and very loud. And so like, it's fucking cilantro. Some people don't react to that, and don't blame them, but I enjoy his work when I catch it. Yeah. It's, I'm actually way behind in his stuff. So I don't know, maybe he changed. But like this trailer on its own, I'm just like, yeah, this looks like the right amount of bonkers that I have to see it.
It does look pretty wild.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks real fucking weird.
I need to watch some of this filmmaker's movies for sure. I've heard so many different things about Rubber. I need to just finally sit down and watch it.
You should. It's only an hour 20. And yeah, it's just about a rubber tire that can kill people with its mind.
Yeah.
A sentient tire,
sure,
which is great. It doesn't make for a very compelling story, which is why it's only an hour 20. Like if we had to do what we just watched about it, I don't know how much we'd have to say. It's like one of those where from what I recall, a lot of it's just like, yep, this tire sure is rolling around. But it's fun.
Word.
Yeah. So yeah, check that out, folks. If you're into this director, whose name is Quentin Quentin French.
Yeah.
He's very French.
Director of Rubber.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, I think that's a so, Dave. We've done it.
It sure is.
Woo!
Woo! Thank you to our guest, and thank you to us.
Yeah.
Do we want to plug
Thank
stuff?
you to
We do.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave, tell them some words.
We have a Patreon, patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed, GAMEFULLY, unemployed. We watch movies every Friday night with our patrons. But for $5 a month, you get access to our exclusive our podcast, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama, Spiel Boys. Those are all available on there for just $5 a month. And then we have other tiers such as producer, Hypecast producer and podcast producer and movie watching and all that. Very fun. Well, you love us. We're great.
We also have a store. Head over to gamefullyunemployed.com where you can find a link to our Teespring store. We have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs you can get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters, all sorts of things. So slap your little Dali peepers onto that.
Yeah, you fucking honkies. Do it.
All right.
Delicious.
Delish, Dave.
Yeah.
These the best trailers 2003 had to offer.
Yeah, it's a shame.
The Cat in the Hat. The Cat in the Hat was on there.
Cat in the Hat. Radio, Tom. Radio.
Radio.
Number 10 in the box office.
Yeah,
Radio.
That's too high. It's too high. Too many people went to see Radio.
Yeah, too many.
They should be ashamed of themselves.
Absolutely. I worked in a movie theater. I could see it for free. Didn't see it.
You made the right decision.
Yeah, I did.
Bye.
Bye.
Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, CORLEW, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. You can find more of his artwork at instagram.com/mvbramleyart. Our episode artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.